just share this with you guys real quick. So I just put my video up the other day about all the queens that I've grafted right now, and to my knowledge I have 23 that have taken. I'm going to be conservative and say maybe 75% of those will actually hatch. But regardless, I was thinking, what am I going to do with all these queens? Now I've got half a dozen more hives that I want to requeen, so that's easy. That's a given. I'll just get in those hives and, well, I haven't decided if I'm going to pinch the queen first and let the virgin hatch out, or if I'm going to let the virgin hatch in a cage and then pinch the existing queen. I'm not sure yet, but I would like for the virgin queen to hatch out in the hive and then not have to wait a month for her to mate and then reintroduce her. Anyway, what I want to show you today was I built these medium Nuc boxes, and I built these mostly for when I do cutouts. I've learned from the cutouts that I've done that it's really best to reduce the colony down to a very small comb area with a lot of bees if possible. Transfer as much of the brood as you feasibly can, but don't transfer a whole lot more because you're going to lose a lot of bees in the transfer just due to the stress. And then I've had quite a few that I've lost. Well, I won't say quite a few. I've had 2 or 3 that I've lost due to collapse afterwards because, and not colony collapse, but small hive beetles got the best of them. They had more comb than they could manage. Small hive beetles got them. So anyway, I built these Nuc boxes for that, but then I thought, well, I can use these for mating boxes, mating Nucs. So I didn't want to devote the whole space to it. This is a 5-frame Nuc, and that's a lot more than you need for a mating Nuc. So I built these dividers. Simple as can be. I was sitting here scratching my head trying to figure out how in the heck I was going to get a tool in here to cut a 1/4-inch kerf inside the box after I'd already built it. Now I found the right tool. I have a router, but I don't have a 1/4-inch groove bit to use. And it dawned on me, I'll just build a movable wall. So I had this cedar. There's still some of that original cedar, by golly. And I planed this piece down to a 1/4-inch already just because it was some sort of odd thickness. It was, I don't know, 5/16 or something weird. And, I didn't know what to do with it, so I just planed it down to a 1/4 when I was planing on my cedar. So it's the perfect thickness. And all I did was I cut these little ears on it to match how a frame would sit in here. And you can see I messed up. I was cutting 3/4 of an inch, and I went ahead and destroyed the first one, learning, of course. I cut all the notches to 3/4 of an inch, and then I ripped the first one, ripped off a full 3/4 of an inch. That was too much because when you do that, these rails are only 3/8. So when you cut off 3/4, that leaves a nice 3/8 inch gap on either side, which is the perfect bee space. So you wouldn't have isolation for your queens, and you'd only get one queen out of every dual-sided mating Nuc. So I fixed these two. You can see they fit in there real nice. There's not, there's a little bit of play, but not enough that the bees are going to crawl through. I suppose there's a chance that the bees could push this one way or the other if they got real industrious and tried, but I don't think they're going to. I'm not concerned about it. I might, when I put it all together, I might just put a couple thumbtacks or something. The bottom board will be done. Put a couple thumbtacks on the bottom board just to make sure they don't try to scoot it just by chance. But what this will do is I could possibly even make this a 3 and 2 still, because I think there's enough space I could, but I want to make it a 2 and 2, so I'll have 2 frames on either side, 2 full mediums, and then what I'll do on each end is somewhere down here in the corner drill my 1-inch hole, and on this end back here drill my 1-inch hole, and then I'm going to put those silver entrance discs on there that I showed you guys. And so what that will allow me to do is actually have 2 small hives in one box, because we all know about being crowded for space. The other neat thing is that when I put my feeding lid on here, you see where my divider is, so I'll be able to feed the bees. One common feed jar will feed both sides of the mating Nuc. So anyway, just wanted to share this with you guys. I thought it was a clever little idea that I thought up. This is just another one of those nice things that I dreamed up while I was sitting at work one day in a meeting, sketched it all down on the paper. So yeah, I just want to share it. I think I've got plenty of scrap around here. I'll build 3 more of these feeding lids, and I've got some Luan over there. I think it's technically 3/16, but it might as well be 1/4. I'll use that for the other divisions, or at least 2 more, unless I've got. Yeah, I don't have any more 1/4-inch cedar. I could probably use 1/2-inch cedar. I think it would work just as well. I think there's plenty of space in there with 4 frames. There's certainly enough space that you could use a piece of 1/2 inch. Heck, I could use a piece of 1 inch for all that matters. So I've got plenty of scrap to build the other dividers. That's no big deal. But like I said, I just want to share this. Just want to share this with you guys. Simple excluder. Not a queen excluder. Simple divider board. I suppose if you wanted to, I could cut a screen in it or something for ventilation, but I don't know why I would, because the whole point is that I want these bees to be isolated. I don't want them to know each other. Another thing I might do is in the back opposite corner of a hive, so say for this half, if I drill my entrance hole down here in this corner, on the opposite end, just drill like a small 1/2 inch hole or something and just staple a screen across it just so they can get some airflow through here if they need. But they'll probably get plenty of airflow just through the feeding lid if the jar's not going to seal up tight. Not too concerned. I'm going to keep these mating nucs somewhere kind of shady anyway, so I don't think they'll get too hot. And yeah, that's it. See ya.